The Boston Celtics may be splitting up soon. Hey guys, Emmanuel here, and before I jump into this video, I just want to ask you guys to give me the HBO special, that is the Help a Brother Out, and you can do that by hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like underneath this video. It would help me out a lot. I'm not one for long intros though, so let's jump back into the story. The rumor mill around the NBA is starting to point to Jaylen Brown wanting out of Boston. ESPN's John Granato for the ESPN radio show 97.5 Houston reported that the Houston Rockets are expected to pursue Jaylen Brown this offseason via trade if he does become available, and also that the Houston Rockets are going to try and hire Ime Udoka and fire their current head coach Stephen Silas. Now, as you all know, Ime Udoka is the disgraced former Boston Celtics head coach. In my opinion, I don't really think he's disgraced, it's just the media, but he's well known for clicking with the core of the Boston Celtics and being able to coach them to a finals, which he did last year against the Golden State Warriors. He was really able to click on a personal level with the likes of Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Marcus Smart, and he got the best out of them. That's why they were able to go so far as they did last year. And it's really starting to look like the Houston Rockets are going to try and poach a lot of the Boston Celtics talent or former talent. But yes, it's looking like the possibility of Jaylen Brown leaving the Boston Celtics is becoming more foreseeable for the future. Lately, it's also seemed as if Jaylen Brown doesn't want to be a Celtics player for the long run, evident by how he's critiqued the Boston Celtics fan base for how unsupportive they can be when players don't perform. He said he's experienced racism from Celtics fans before. In a quote regarding this matter, this is what he had to say word for word. Quote, "I have, but I pretty much block it all out. It's not the whole Celtics fan base, but it's part of the fan base that exists within the Celtics nation that is problematic. If you have a bad game, they tie it to your personal character." End quote. So as you can see, it's been a problem for him in the past, and he's experienced it. And it's also worth noting that Jaylen Brown's not the only player that's ever said this about the Boston Celtics fan base. A lot of players have said that the Boston Celtics, well, not the Boston Celtics fan as a whole, but there's a percentage of fans that really can be nasty to black players when they don't perform up to standards. And I think that's maybe just part of Boston because they're so spoiled. I hate to say it, but Boston's a good sports town. So when you don't perform to a certain standard, they can be very bitter. They can be very mean. And in this case, racism, which is not okay. And then furthermore, it's looking like Jaylen Brown is looking as if he is non-committal to a future with the Boston Celtics contractually. He was asked about his plans for committing to the Boston Celtics at a press conference after a game, and this is what he had to say. He said, quote, "I don't know. As long as I'm needed, it's not up to me," Brown said. "We'll see how they feel about me over time, and I feel about them over time. Hopefully whatever it is, it makes sense. I will stay where I'm wanted, I will stay where I'm needed, and treated correct." End quote. As you heard, he says that he will stay where he's wanted, but most importantly, he will stay where he is treated correct. Now, that last part is significant. Why? Because it gives us insight into how Jaylen Brown views himself in relation to the organization. It lets us know what the dynamic is between Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. And I think that Jaylen Brown doesn't believe the Boston Celtics organization appreciate him enough, and it shows. Jaylen Brown, to me, from far looks like he wants a bigger role almost, right? Because I think Jaylen Brown thinks he's as good